If you've opened LinkedIn lately and watched some YouTube videos about a senior tech guy being laid off and worried that AI is coming after your job, well, you're not alone. In 2025, we've seen massive tech layoffs. We've seen also this belief system that has changed that if you learn how to code, it's a guaranteed safe career path. Well, this video, we're going to talk about what are the trends that are happening, what is the crux of the problem, and how you can adapt to change and be prepared for the future. In this video, I'm going to show you some market data about the shift, 3 safe haven industries that I don't think AI can disrupt so easily, and last but not least, the skill sets that you can adapt and learn to actually beat this algorithm. So stay till the end of the video to find out more. For those of you new to the channel, my name is John. I'm the founder of VUCA Insights, a fellow engineer turned full-time investor. I help clients manage their wealth, and also the author of an upcoming book called The Malaysian Multi-Baggers that should be out in stores in Q1 2026. So it's not just tech companies announcing massive layoffs. If you look at the chart, this includes UPS announcing a 48,000 people job cut, and this is a brick and mortar logistics company, and even renowned Swiss company, fast moving consumer goods like Nestle, announcing a 16,000 manpower cut. So let's rewind a little bit and try to find out how do we land here actually. If you recall, in 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic actually hit, lockdowns actually gave rise to remote working, contactless delivery, and an entire rethink of the fulfillment network. So a lot of these companies that weren't used to this kind of hybrid working structure massively hired people just to ensure that these gaps were actually fulfilled. The demand was actually abated, was actually made sure that the supply chain logistics were actually humming, and companies just massively overhired because it was something that was unprecedented. They didn't know how to actually handle it, and this actually came about at a point of time where automation through AI and supply chain enhancements were not robust as we have today. So what happened concurrently post the pandemic was the rise of AI compute power, and a lot of these big companies that rapidly hired actually sat back and re-strategized and says, hey, there were a lot of these things that could have been automated that in the past we were not willing to invest the capex, but now seeing the massive efficiency gains that they've put to good use and experimented during COVID, why do we need to hire more? Is there a way to streamline the workforce, trying to enhance efficiency, trying to bring in more profits, especially to shareholders? This is when a lot of these large conglomerates, even a great pharmaceutical company like Novo Nordisk had to lay off 9,000 people in 2025. So there you go. I think that was where the crux of the problem really started, was this massive uncontrolled overhiring. And it's not just AI, but it was more of efficiency or over-trimming the excess rapid hiring during the COVID pandemic. So what will be the safe havens or zones that I think AI will not interrupt it too easily? In fact, it will help enhance it, especially if there are menial tasks that can be better automated away through better sensors, better robotic mechanisms that will be developed in the future. One of it is actually skills trade. Your electrician, your plumber, someone who can work their hands. I know we've seen cooking robots exist in China, so I don't think they can cook you up a Michelin star chef, but enough to create food for the masses. So that's something that I feel is a safe haven, skills trade. The second is really healthcare, therapy. While AI is very good at coding, very good at generating content, what they cannot replicate overnight, we don't know. One day AI can be sentient, but they cannot replicate human emotion, human gesture, human culture. I think that's where healthcare, therapy, taking care of geriatric care, pediatric care, nurses, therapists, human body workers, These are, I think, jobs that is not easily replicated away through an AI. And last but not least, is really high stakes leadership and clear communicators. So take two guys, example of two guys. One is an engineer, code monkey, does not really know how to communicate clearly, versus a guy, it's okay at coding, it's not the best, but because of AI he has managed to enhance his coding skills, but he's a clear communicator, he's willing to take decisions, he's willing to handle crises, and he's willing to influence and lead teams. These are the skills that I believe will put you into a safe zone where you are not so easily disrupted by a change in AI or tech development in the future. So aside from going into the three safe industries or shelters to prevent yourself from being disrupted from AI, what are the survival stacks or skills that I think will help all of us to be able to not resist change, but really to morph into somewhat of a better asset for ourselves? The first one is really high bandwidth communication skills. I think this is the ability to synthesize very complex data and then put it into like bullet or chunk size kind of insights so that people understand you clearer. The second really is persuasion. How do you convince your stakeholders? How do you convince people who work for you to buy into your vision, to have this clear objective and outcome that they need to achieve? So really high bandwidth communication skills. The second is really radical adaptability. What do I mean by that is really how do you look at a problem, how do you break it down into chunks, and how do you solve it, either by allocating better resources, using better tools, or learning how to experiment, rapid iterations, experimenting and trying to figure out like various methods of how to solve this. I think this is a skill that is valuable in any industry, regardless of whether you're in the skills trade, whether you're in healthcare, or whether even if you're in tech. I think this is something that AI will still need guidance to solve these kind of problems. And last but not least is really what I deem as AI orchestration. So if you think about a concert or an orchestra, someone will be playing the trombone, someone will be playing maybe the drums, someone will be playing the clarinet, the cello. All of that comes into harmony through the orchestration of the conductor. And I think in this day and age is really how do you manage the AI tools that are readily available to you? How do you harness it in the most efficient manner? And how do you actually create your own IP? You see, right? An AI is only as smart as how you prompt it. Any automation, workflow, problem solving is how do you design the problem and design the solution, is where you can enhance all these AI tools to help you better navigate all these different challenges that will come to you. I think as humans, we are a very adaptable race. We are also very creative in ways, especially when, ironically, when you're pushed into a corner and lack of resources. That's where a lot of creative ideas will come into play. In this day and age, we live in abundance. Compute is almost negligible in terms of cost. Electricity or utility services are taken for granted, and yet we've seen productivity actually plummet because a lot of people just consume rather than trying to create. And I think that's where, if we really want to embrace this change, we have to learn to create and experiment and iterate even more. So there you go. These are my thought processes about the return of soft skills, the return of not just being a domain knowledge expert in one very, very deep technical field. I'm not saying completely ignore it. I was from that technical domain expertise before, but what I really learned that value proposition to any organization or to even starting your own business is really those three survival stacks that I talked to you about, and how do you use AI to enhance rather than to fear the change that is coming. You can't avoid it. The only constant is really change. So if you'd like to hear more of my thoughts, about tech, about investing, about entrepreneurship, check out the other videos on this channel, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.